What's up, you guys? Chet Guthrie, the Dream Poet here, coming to you all with day 75 of my vlogging experience here in the state of Florida. Today is a pretty lazy day, but I will say this much. One of my videos has gone viral. If anyone remembers, I visited an abandoned theme park off the side of the road in Florida about a week ago. I shared it to a few groups of a bunch of wonderful people that really like the same type of thing that I do. And you guys, it's crazy. So far, the video that I've shared it to is only within like 2 or 3 hours, I'm up to about 300 views, 6 likes, not any comments. But you guys, I feel like today is the day that those gears start turning for my channel, which ultimately is just amazing. Thank you all so much. So I think today we're going to have an adventure. Like I said I would do last night, we would continue this review of Stranger Things Season 3, Episode 2. I hope I didn't ruin it for any of you guys, because quite frankly, it just keeps getting more and more awesomer. Is awesomer even a word? But that's not the point. It's amazing. Episode 2 is great. I've already watched Episode 3, gonna watch it again to give you guys a great rundown, a great review of this amazing series. Let's do it. Let's see what day 75 has in store. I kinda wish I brought my magnet with me today, but I think maybe another time. Obviously, don't need a magnet to fish this thing out. I really don't know what it is. Maybe part of a chair. But, this place is littered with stuff. You know what? I think this was a part of the wire that we found last time. I'm not sure if you all remember the last episode, well, not the last episode that I did, but a few videos back, my magnet pulled up this. So I truly wonder what it did go to. And still, my major find sits here today. I don't think anybody's gonna want to take it anytime soon, because, well, why would you? And I just now noticed this, but it looks like somebody left a diary. At least I think it's a diary. I mean, whatever or whoever had it, looks like they've burned out a few things. I hope I'm not like stumbling across like any like paganistic ritual or anything. Probably not, but after experiencing some of the things that I have experienced in my life, it would not surprise me. But still, kind of looks like somebody was heartbroken and they burned those pages. Well, interesting. In another video, I'll have to go and have a rundown of all the paranormal things that have happened to me. And also, for the future of my vlogs, I do plan on doing a few paranormal series, because, quite honestly, St. Augustine's right down the road from me, and it's Haunted City, USA. So I imagine we could get a lot of good stuff. Let's check out some more stuff. He's just standing there, menacingly. Seriously? Oh no. He left. You know something? I was really thinking about this as I was walking through Alpine Groves while I still am. I think I'm actually going to get more into my major. I'm thinking about creating my own dialogue. Yes, that's scary, very scary. But what if I get myself a haircut, a shave up, get clothes from 1890s to 1910s, and just act on my own monologue. I'm seriously thinking about it, you guys, because when I came down here to Florida, I wanted to give acting a shot. I wanted to build on it to see where it would go, and I might just do that sometime here in the near future in the summer. Hopefully, everyone will not be so scared. I don't know. I might scare people. And then again, people might tell me never to do it again. Oh, and there's the thunderstorms. Well, this has become predictable. Maybe I should run it. Maybe, I don't know, the truck is kind of far a bit of ways that way. I might end up getting soaked. And yeah, that's not good.
Those exploding rats were extremely weird. What's up, you guys? Chad Guthrie, the Dream Poet here, coming to you all with day 76, my vlogging experience here in the state of Florida. And as I promised to you guys, here is my review of episode 2 for Stranger Things 3. Episode 2, I was really curious to see where some parts of the plot for episode 1 would go. I was really curious to see what would happen on Joyce's and Hopper's date, or at least in Hopper's eyes it was a date, or what was going to happen after Mike lied to Elle, and again, a very interesting plot setup, which we will get into today. Or, one of the things that really surprised me, what I was just really curious about, was from episode 2, well, not episode 2, from episode 1, the exploding rats. I wasn't really sure where they were going to go with that one, but still, episode 2 was really good. So, here we go. My first point that I think I will make was after the dialogue between Hopper and Mike, was that after Hopper drops Mike off, the two have this really heated argument where Hopper tells Mike to leave Elle alone by telling her that there's something wrong with his Nana and he cannot see her or hang out with her. Now obviously Elle finds this out as a lie, but Mike assures her that no, it is not a lie. And in the episode, this sets up a very interesting plot setup. A very interesting turn of events that really happens on a daily basis, especially with teens in their younger years. It was great. So, Mike and Lucas and Will are sitting there together, in Will's basement, and Will's just wanting to play D&D. I really feel like this is another sign that a few members in the group have not totally matured compared to the rest, like Lucas and Mike, who are in relationships. But Lucas is trying to tell Mike this is what he does whenever they head to the mall. Now, Eleven and Max, on the other hand, Max is telling Eleven not to worry about Mike because, quote unquote, to her, that there are much more better things than boys in life. And this is kind of where we get a really interesting quote. This is where she says, "Dump his ass." And I just like how she put it like that. She's like, "Dump his ass, dump his ass, dump his ass." While all that is going on, Hopper is getting ready for his date. Well, not a date to him, but really an outing with Joyce to celebrate the boundaries that he has set. Again, I should probably put in quotations. Boundary set between Mike and Elle that he has set up. Now, obviously, this is him just doing things his way and more or less scaring Mike away, which really he hasn't solved the problem, and he's taking advantage to try to have an outing with Joyce, because from former seasons you can see that there is that love interest that he has with her that he is trying to pursue. But in episode 2 you see that Joyce is still kind of holding on to Bob. There's a lot of flashbacks, and quite honestly, I still don't understand why the Duffer Brothers had to kill off Bob. Bob was awesome. Why did you kill him, though? But Joyce, on the other hand, has different plans of her own. In the previous episode, she was watching that magnets were falling off her fridge. Now, for Joyce, she's already been through a lot in the last 3 seasons. Well, 2 seasons, because it's only episode 2 of season 3 of Stranger Things. Or would that make 3 seasons of a lot of crap? She tries understanding how electromagnetic fields work, and all of this is really confusing Joyce. So she seeks the help of Scott Clark, the gang's school teacher, to really talk to her about how all this stuff works. And I really like that, because when he was telling Joyce how all this stuff works and why her magnets might be falling off her fridge, he is both pessimistic and optimistic. Or at least that's what I got the feeling of. His optimistic side is, in order for someone to create an electromagnetic field like that, it would take tens of millions of dollars to do. Now, when Joyce responds to this, he says, well, we put a man on the moon in '69. We generated electricity, but most likely it was probably one of your sons in the middle of the night bumping into something and knocking the magnet off the fridge. Now, while this is going on, Hopper is still at this restaurant. You can tell that he's getting irritated, still waiting. He's drinking a lot, which that isn't a good thing for Hopper. From the past 2 seasons, you do know that he did have an alcohol problem. But he's drinking because he is more or less being stood up, or at least in his eyes, that he is being stood up. As you all can tell, Joyce is very reluctant because she still has that attachment to Bob. Still, why did they have to kill Bob, though? So, near the end of that, or at least in that part of what I found interesting, he storms off, walks away, and, well, we will get to more of what I found interesting. In the mall scene, while Mike is getting the help from Lucas, and Will is there just kind of being Will. That's the only thing that I can describe. I like Will. Will's a good character. You can see where Max and Eleven are having fun. The typical 1980s girl. They're going from shop to shop. They're finding really cool clothes. And there's this really interesting part where they're getting their photos taken, which that's a callback to Olin Mills. Olin Mills was actually my first job. Yeah, Olin Mills went out of business a while back, so yeah, it kind of sucks. So, while in return, Mike and Lucas, they're buying something for 11, but there's this realization that Mike can't buy 11 something good. They were in this Zales store, and they found this really cool golden cat piece, but this golden cat piece turned out to be, well, worth $300. So we reached the climax of that plot. 11 and Max catch the guys, and this is where we hear 11 tell Mike this in her awkward voice: "I'd dump your ass." She does it with like so much energy, and it's just like hilarious because that's happened to me before, and it kind of sucks. Now we come to one of my all-time favorites of episode 2, and that, you guys, is when we find out that Billy is indeed possessed by the Mind Flayer. With this, he does show up back at his job as a lifeguard at the pool, but we see that he's having convulsions. We're seeing that he can't stand the sunlight, and really he's trying to hide away in being in a very dark, wet place. Like when Will from the previous season was possessed by the Mind Flayer, he's doing the exact same thing. But with all this, we see that Karen tries apologizing to Billy, and she's essentially telling him that she had family and she couldn't do that. And this is when Billy basically blows her off, tells her, "Don't speak to me," and he walks off. But we get to see Heather come in, and she tells Billy, you know, do I need to call a hospital? What do I need to do to calm you down? And this is where we see Billy kidnapping Heather, which this is where I'm kind of interested to see if the Mind Flayer or some one of the creatures are going to eat her, possess her, because he takes her back to the factory where the rats were exploding, and it looks like he's gonna rape her. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I mean, there is that undertone there, but honestly, I think, you guys, that Heather is going to get eaten. Something tells me that we're gonna have another Barb on our hands. Yeah, they killed Barb. Season 1, Barb was cool, but no, they had to kill Barb. Oh no, Duffer Brothers, you had to kill. I'm like, no, don't kill Barb, because everybody likes Barb. So I'm really curious as to see where the exploding rats concept still goes. I mean, I think I understand, because while Jonathan and Nancy were at the old lady's house, Jonathan was taking photos of the rat that the old lady had caught, and this rat was eating fertilizer and chemicals and everything else. And really, the old lady was trying to understand why these rats kept on doing that, because this was happening and becoming a daily thing now, and the old lady thought it was rabies, is essentially what she thought it was. So they're in the basement. Jonathan's taking photos, trying to get a good shot. As soon as he turns around, the rat just calms down. While this is going on, Nancy is calling, trying to figure out what is going on, with what seems to be very little leads, up until she starts seeing that there is a pattern that everybody's fertilizer, chemicals are all going missing. So that's when she pulls Jonathan to the side and she says, "I have a lead." And right as he does that, as they leave, we see that this rat that was caught by the old lady explodes. But the rat doesn't exactly die. It's still moving. It's almost like a callback to the 1980s movie The Blob. I mean, because the animal is basically like this big, mushy, bloody thing of ooze, but still moving. So, you guys, that is my episode 2 review of Stranger Things 3. Now, like I said, I'm really curious to see where some of this character development goes. I'm really curious to see where the plot goes, because in previous seasons, Stranger Things has always had a good plot, a good story, good character development, good graphics, all that good stuff. Actually, speaking of that, there is actually one more thing that I forgot to talk about, and that was between Dustin, Steve, and Robin. Now, during the whole episode, they're trying to figure out this transmission that they're assuming is from Russia. But at the end of the night, while the mall is closed, they're leaving. Steve puts a quarter in one of those riding horses from the 80s. I mean, they still have them, like at Bilo and whatnot. Actually, even Bilo went out of business. They got bought out by that's not the point, everyone. But still, he puts a quarter in the horse, and that's when they notice the song, and that's when they come to the conclusion that it wasn't at a Russian base coming from Russia. It was coming from the mall, which is a great setup for episode 3. And it's like, what are a bunch of Russians doing at a small town in Indiana? That's probably what the Duffer Brothers want us to wonder about. That was my last thing. I swear. So you guys, in the comments below, let me know what you all thought of episode 2 of season 3 of Stranger Things. I'm kind of curious to see what you all have to say. I know I'm rather new in the reviewing world, but I'm building on it, I'm learning more. And give me a proper critique. What can I do to make something better for you guys? So, remember, I got that drawing going on. Subscribe, hit the bell icon, you know what will happen. You will get you will have the chance to win a $50 Walmart gift card, as well as the first ever Dream Poet t-shirt, as well as 2 other t-shirts, and 2 framed photos of mine. So keep up with me on Dream Poet at Facebook, as well as my Instagram, and the links below. Thank you all for the love and support. Love you all very much. Let's see what tomorrow holds, you guys.